Hello, Ryan here, and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all of the news from the week just past. Be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get on with it. This week, we check out the progress going on with the river placement tech, the Anvil Centurion makes its official debut, plus Alpha 3.17.2 finally goes live. So the biggest news of the week is the release of Alpha 3.17.2 to the live servers. With it brought a whole slew of new and improved missions, quality of life updates, and hundreds of bug fixes. Jumptown and Siege of Orison is now happening, alternating from one day to the next over the next couple of weeks. And I did give Siege of Orison a go briefly last night, but it looks like it's still having some issues, like the lieutenants don't seem to be spawning in, I think. And also, I was unable to get a shuttle to take me from one platform to another. I do love, though, how you are not continuously directed where to go with UI, and you've got to kind of figure it out to a degree yourself. It can be difficult when bugs are happening, like lieutenants not spawning in, because is it supposed to be like this? Is it a bug? You know, the difficulties are there. But the environments are great. The cooperation is awesome. The AI are slightly slow to respond, but ultimately, if they are able to iron out these issues, then hopefully it can evolve to be a really fun mission. There is a lot of loot to get there as well. I did get some really nice armor from a dead player, funnily enough. But we will definitely give it another go on stream this week, see if we can figure it out, see if there's any fixes in there to make things work properly. But I have also managed to play 3.17.2 a little bit outside of Siege of Orison, and I have been suffering from some irritating bugs like the elevators not working, boxes getting stuck in your hand, inventory constantly loading and such. But overall, the issues are few and far between, and it is a great patch, but very much dependable on what you are doing and where you are. It can go very smoothly without a single issue outside of very minor bugs or a problem at every turn. So very hit or miss as usual, but the time I have spent playing I have thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm definitely feeling that drawback to get in, get playing, start upgrading my ships and components and whatnot. So this next week I will certainly be playing 3.17.2 live on Twitch, plus kicking off my Zero to Hero Season 2 here on YouTube, so do keep your eyes out for that. And I think there is enough to keep me entertained while I wait for 3.18. Although saying that, once it gets to the Wave one, so Concierge and subscribers, I will be hopping between the two. There has been a big mishap with all of the payments and Alpha UEC, which looks to have been rectified now. I will post the latest information from CIG regarding this. I'm not going to delve into it, but if you do want to check out the latest post, it is linked below. But yeah, hope you have a great time on 3.17.2, and if you want some help and advice, do check out my first season of Zero to Hero, or just hang out with us over at Twitch and you can ask as many questions as you like. So this week's Inside Star Citizen began by taking a look at the progress being made on rivers. Now in 3.17, the very first river appeared on Microtech, only the one river, as it was just a test case while they further pushed the technology. Speaking with the dev who is the one working on this, he has been developing the automatic river placement tool that will allow artists to populate entire planets with water systems simply, easily and quickly. He's been working away, making improvements to his RiverTech UI, like these tabs to toggle between manual river placement, automatic river placement, all rivers and more. And when creating a river, he has improved the river prediction, which determines the best direction of flow at any point on the planet, which allows them to look at the general shape and length of the river they're placing. Now, for planets like Hurston, they do intend on most of the rivers to flow and finish into a large body of water, be that a basin, a lake, or like we have seen on Hurston already, big oceans. Right now, the prediction tool does not take into account the intricacies of the terrain that may actually prevent the river from spawning in a location. So it's more used as an indication of where a river could go, with their detailed erosion algorithm being used to work out if it could work. So we went through the actual process of placing a river and how it sets down the nodes, as we saw in a previous Inside Star Citizen. Manually placing a river is all well and good, and I suspect it allows them to drop rivers in very unique places should they need to, but they do want to have full water systems on planets, so he created this automatic river placement tool. Now with this tool, it is divided into 4 steps. They have Gather, that searches for potential locations to place a river that will fulfill certain criteria that they determine beforehand. Here they can change things like the river quantity, the number of steps which determine its length, and how many attempts of positions it'll do to try and find these good locations. Now for the demonstration that he showed, he tried to look for 5 rivers across the planet, and each needs to be at least 9 macro steps, which as I say determines its length, and after selecting all the biomes barring the snowy biomes, he sets it going, and you can see in real time the potential locations are popping up. Now it actually found 25 potential locations based on the criteria he set, and after which he then filters them, and this makes sure that rivers won't flow through things like outposts and so on. And it will automatically discard the rivers that are no longer valid, which left 4 potential options. Now after clicking place river, this places all of the 4 new created rivers, which means the next step is to commit them, so commit them to the actual planet. But before doing this, he decided to check them out up close and personal and see if they are what he was wanting before committing them manually. So as you can see here, these are the various rivers. He did delete the first one as he didn't feel like it worked, whereas the others were nicely committed. Now he says going forwards, he'll allow the artists to specify minimum length and spring points, so basically artists can add hint positions in a height map to say a river would look good maybe beginning at this point, like a crack or a crevice in a mountain perhaps, which means the quality of the automatically placed rivers will be higher as the starting location of a river will look more natural, rather than what it is right now, which is just kind of in the middle of nowhere. And to finish with, Jared did say to expect more rivers in Alpha 3.18, which is very exciting, but this was a very impressive demonstration, which I ended up almost copying word for word, as it was very well presented as well, and really informative. Now in usual CIG fashion, they get an early work in progress of whatever to help develop the feature further, then they expand on it, and this is a prime example of that, where one river may not be all that exciting for many people, but what flows afterwards means planets fully populated with rivers and other bodies of water, which will add potential for missions, life, and just beauty in general. Very happy to hear that we are going to see more in the next patch. How many more? We don't know, but the speed at which they can get these placed, I feel like we might not be able to count them all. Anyway, to finish the episode off, they took a look at the new for 3.17.2 Anvil Centurion. Now this is the AA turret ground vehicle, which is again built upon the Anvil Atlas chassis, similar to the Ballista and the Spartan, but with guns, energy guns. It also has 2 size 1 coolers found at the rear to help accommodate the extra heat, and I think it has 4 size 3 weapons mounted on the turret, so very powerful. Inside again, it's similar to the Ballista. The turret camera now shows the actual guns on the front of the camera, which is a nice touch, giving you that impression that you are actually in control of something, with the rest of the components located inside. Now, personally speaking, this I feel is a really much needed new addition, and I'm very happy to see it now coming along, but also going with energy weapons means that it can remain in place indefinitely without having to be rearmed. So definitely a useful vehicle going forwards, especially with more planetary points of interest coming along, and once we can place markers on the map, providing a location to return to, say if it's a profitable location, having a vehicle like this positioned and protecting this place will be very useful, especially in Pyro. But anyway, that was Inside Star Citizen, a nice episode to come back to, but let us move on. So also this week, the Galactopedia was updated with some great new posts. The Centurion went on sale along with its official Q&A. There are many other ship sales happening as well, so do check the pledge store if there was something that you were planning on picking up. And finally, the latest edition of Jump Point is now available for all RSI subscribers. So that brings us to the end of the show. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Also, I am able to do this thanks to my very generous patrons and channel members. If you appreciate what I do and would like to help make it even better from as little as $1 a month, all of the links are provided below.